Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of whale watching. For everyone that maybe didn't follow me on Twitter or didn't see my latest message where I said that I updated the VeveXTracker and I added a new section that is called the top 100. So basically this is now where I display all the data regarding our whale collectors on VeVe. So just to give you a quick overview, if you go to the top 100 section, then here you have kind of the net accumulation of our top 100 collectors. So here I look at the top 100 wallets in terms of how many collectibles, including comics, they own. And then I look at how many items they purchased and sold. And then I make a calculation of which I call the net accumulation, so all the purchases minus the sales. So then we are left with the number of how much NFTs these wallets have accumulated over time. So basically in this first section you see the daily net accumulation, so this would always be from the last snapshot date. And then you have like an average daily net accumulation of the past 7 days. So what was the average daily number in the past 7 days compared to the previous past 7 days, and the same for like what was the average daily net accumulation for the past 14 days compared to the previous 14 days, and also the same with 30 days. And then here below you basically have what I previously had in a Google sheet that I called my the VeVe whale tracker, and now this information you have here, and you can also filter for certain time periods. So the default is for last 7 days. So basically what you see is here the top 100 wallets, their collection size, the number of purchases, the number of sales, and the net accumulation. So when you're here, you can then order the table by, for example, collection size. Then you get like the kind of the leaderboard in terms of collectors. But you can also look at, okay, so which were the wallets that purchased the most, which were the wallets that sold the most, and then what I think it's interesting, so which were the wallets that accumulated the most. And when I was updating the data today, I saw this wallet and I saw this kind of huge net accumulation of almost 1.5k collectibles in the past 7 days. And I said, okay, that's interesting. Then I looked for the past 30 days to see like, okay, were there maybe other wallets that also accumulated a lot in the past months, because we know that I think it was like 2 weekends ago that we also saw like a small pump in the market again. So a lot of purchasing happening, a lot of floor prices going up. We have seen a small correction since then, but so I went and looked at the past 30 days of data. And so what I saw here is that we basically have 4 wallets that accumulated more than 1,000 collectibles in the past 30 days, so in the past months. And I thought, okay, this is very interesting, but slightly more interesting would be to know what exactly did they purchase and what exactly did they stack. So this is what I tried to do today. And see if I can take these 5 wallets and looked at what they purchased and find the data and kind of match the tokens that they have purchased with the actually like item. This is kind of tricky, and this is not like a really exact science, because as you maybe know, the data I get it from ImmuteScan, and we don't get any metadata from ImmuteScan. So the only thing that I can really do is basically look at kind of transactions that happen. So basically when I go to VeVe and then I want to look at one of those wallet addresses, which I think I have it. Let's take this one. I can search this wallet address and then I see their transaction. Then if I click on the transactions, I see the token ID, and then from the token ID I can see the mint event of that token, and then I get the date when this token was minted, and then I can compare that date with the drops that we had on that date, and like that I can match a token ID to a drop date. However, this is as I said, this is a bit tricky, because especially recently we had some days where drops didn't sell out, and therefore if people purchase them afterwards, they get minted later, so they don't get minted on their drop day, but they get minted whenever someone purchases that item. However, I looked at the data, and from all that I saw, like the margin of error is quite small, especially because there are some drops that they sold out, and within that period all the drops sold out on the day, so you can match them very easily, and the only thing are some of the more recent drops where we would have some more error. Okay, but now let's go into the data. So what did I found? If we look by collectible type, we see that the majority of items that were purchased were actually comics. So almost 80%, 76% were comics, and only 11% were collectibles. And then NA are the ones that, so these are the amount of tokens that I couldn't match, because either they were from before the Immutable X migration. So maybe for those that are new here, before we were on the Go chain, and then we transitioned at the end of last year to the Immutable X blockchain, and all the tokens that had been minted before that, they then got re-minted on the Immutable X blockchain, all on the same day. So it is kind of impossible to identify from those tokens before the migration, like which token is from which drop. I tried, but I wasn't successful. So yeah, I prefer to just leave them as unidentified. However, as we see, they may also only made up 12% of those items that were purchased. Here I just looked, okay, so from all the ones that I didn't identify, how many were from the pre-IMX migration. So these were 612, and the other, so these are basically the other ones I couldn't identify, were from those days that we didn't have a drop. But around that period, we had drops that didn't sell out. So on certain days, items were minted, and I cannot really say if it was maybe from the Jurassic Park blue drop or some comic that didn't sell out. So I just left them unlabeled, basically. So yeah, this already tells us that of those whales, so they really are into comics. And my assumption is that they are really going for the master collector program, so stacking items to accumulate master collector points. So here you see the list. On one side you have the comics, and here you have the collectibles and how many they were accumulated from which series. And yeah, when we look at the comics, I thought it's really interesting, because we see a lot of comics that, as far as I know, are not necessarily like the Grail comics. So there are a lot of comics which are, I think, more on the cheap side, so that people are really stacking for the MCP points. This is just my hypothesis, but I'm really interested in what you think about it, so leave a comment down below what you think. Then if we look at the collectibles, it's also interesting, because yeah, we have Thor, Love and Thunder. This is the cinema poster, and this one I would take with a grain of salt, because this one is also a promotional kind of drop. And yeah, it was on the 28th when they were able to redeem this collectible, but it is possible that on these dates also other items were purchased that didn't sell out. However, then we have Series 6 Deadpool, so these two are Marvel Mighties. Then we have the Thor Premium Collectible. We have the Darth Vader I Am Your Father collection. We have the new Stitch collection that came out. We have Elektra. Yeah, I guess people stacking maybe the Secret Rare because it's one of the cheapest, and speculating on it getting kind of an upgrade or something like that. Yeah, then we have the T-Rex. We have Mimicornos Season 2. So, and with this one, yeah, my hypothesis is people are not really stacking these, but I think it's no secret that a lot of whales use the Mimicornos for buying gems off app, because you only pay the 2.5% market fee. And I think the same with, yeah, the Toby, and I think some of the art, yeah, the Deadbeats, and yeah, there are some that, and the Weapon Rex. I think these are the most common ones that are used to purchase gems off app. But okay, what else do we have? We have a lot of the Decon series. So the art stuff. We have the lightsabers, also the Disney Villains series. So the Lunar New Year stamps. So yeah, this again kind of, that's why I believe it's people that are going through the Master Collector program, because all these are sets that are kind of cheap at the moment, and they give a lot of Master Collector points. But they are not necessarily kind of considered grails or anything. We do though have, of course, the Darth Vader drop. We also see the Disney duos, so the golden moments. Let me know what you think of it, of this kind of analysis. Do you think it's interesting? What do you think about these 4 whales? What is their strategy? Do you also think they are going after the Master Collector program points? Yeah, just let me know what your thoughts are. And with that, have a nice rest of your day and see you soon.